Yeah. Uh. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 2-Point Conversion Monday Night Football Preview. This week features the Chargers and the Jets. I am one of your hosts, Kyle Senra. Follow me at Senra Says. And I have two co-hosts. We'll get to one in a sec, as they're under the underdog microscope. I don't know. That joke fell under. Somewhere down under. It fell way over there. But first off, I'll introduce one of my co-hosts, Gladys. How are you
Hi.
doing? At Gladys L. Tyler.
At Sandra Says, I'm doing good. How are you doing today? Oh, you're doing great. Green Packers won. Packers won.
Yeah, they beat Brett Ripien.
Packers won.
Yeah, it's a win.
I would take a win any way you can get it nowadays.
Defense dominated, which
CJ Stroud sitting on my bench for 52 points in the Zombie League. 52 points. He's sitting on my bench. Damn
it's
it.
funny because I started Will Levis in the Zombie League for like 1.9 points. I would have loved to have had CJ Stroud to use
on my bench because I thought Minshew was going to ball out against the. Well, I thought he would keep the game competitive, so he would do the Minshew thing, which is, every now and then he's going to throw in like a 30-point game. But no, he threw in 12 points while CJ Stroud was like, hold my beer, 52 points on your bench. And I would have beaten him, and the guy would have been a zombie now. But I doubt that's going to happen because he has somebody tonight, and I have somebody else that's not going to score. So, damn it. I want to make everyone a zombie. That's my goal in that league right now. It's my only goal. That's all I have to live for.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to as well, and I'm really bad at that.
And then we have our dear good friend, Dan, the B-League Says, who ghosted me on his show last week. Whatever.
I just like that Kyle's like hanging on like beating Brett Ripien, but you couldn't beat Des Ritter.
Like, yeah, I know. That was they were beating Desmond Ritter until they blew it at the end. So yeah.
Hey,
try beating an Aidan O'Connell team. Right.
Dude, it is my theory that I will die on this hill that every team, once they get rid of a coach, especially a coach that everyone hates, and you put in an interim coach, they're going to get that bump, and they're going to win the next game. It doesn't matter who they play; they're going to win that next game. Now, they might not win anything after more, but they're going to win.
Look at the Raiders; they lost to Jeff Saturday last year, right, in his first game, right? So even if it's I don't think anyone hated Frank Reich, but even like a coach that's liked gets replaced. Yeah. So there's that new voice just gives a new energy for 1 week. So we'll find out if it really sticks for the Raiders. Although I think Josh McDaniels, it seems like everyone's pretty happy he's gone.
Yeah,
not just the players, it seems like other coaches as well. And it seems like
I think when you're smoking cigars after a win against, because your coach is gone, I think that's an indication that maybe he wasn't so well liked in the locker room or anywhere else. I don't even think his wife likes him. I'm going to go on a limb on that.
Well, she would have hated him apparently if he took the Colts job, so that's why he didn't take the Colts job.
Oh, really? She didn't want to go to Indy?
It's not about Indy. It's about Irsay. Apparently, the reason is that everything was set up and they were supposed to, and then well, as Irsay, he's the owner. He's going to go meet his new coach and his family, and I guess he was incredibly.
Was he drunk?
Oh, I would imagine he was. He was very strange at the meeting, and it made his wife uncomfortable. So.
Aw, poor baby.
She didn't want him to take the Colts job, so then he didn't.
I'm gonna go. That's what he is. Whipped. What is happening, Kyle?
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but social comments can be read here, including Gator's comment. Let's freaking go.
Yep.
3 of my favorites, but this is going for 2, not going for 3. But yes, I guess I'll count as well. Kyle? Yeah, I know. I guess he'll include Kyle, right? Like, it's for sure. This is all about Dan and Gladys. But of course, if you want to interact with us, head over to the Gore for 2 Live YouTube, Facebook, Twitch pages, and you can have your comments on screen. We'll interact. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them around. I know we'll be throwing around lots of rants. You can't go for 3 yet. That's true. And they haven't changed the rules to go for 3. Eventually, maybe someday. knows?
I want to say that what's his name? Jamie's kids were on the morning. Like one, I saw one. I didn't really stay that long, but I saw one, and he was freaking adorable. But he didn't give any pics, and that's what I wanted. I wanted him to give pics.
This is a Sunday morning stream. We're going for 2 live Sunday morning stream, right?
Yeah, you can still watch it and watch the kids.
Sure. Yeah, we've got shows every day of the week here on the Going for 2 Live Network. We've also got going2.com website, articles,
Discord.
rankings, everything you need.
Sometimes
There's
we don't
Going
have
for
a
2.
Wednesday show though. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh yeah, because the Armchair Fantasy Show, which is the show that exists on this
Well,
feed
I mean,
for
a
the
Wednesday
longest time
day
ever.
show. Oh,
You're talking,
we didn't have a Wednesday day show last time.
you're talking to me. Yeah. No, I didn't. I forgot to tell everyone that.
Yeah, you did.
I messaged Jeff at like, it was like Tuesday night. I'm like, oh, by the way, there's a huge chance that I won't have a show tomorrow. So I didn't have any show for anyone last week.
Whatever.
Completely off the
Yeah,
grid.
it's fine.
I should be back this
Jamie's
week.
here, the Canadian Jamie, saying hello, A. And
They
that's
weren't
his
being
A comment,
hellions.
and then B, he's saying
They weren't
Uh,
hellions. He's lying.
my kids were being hellions Sunday.
They were not being hellions. They were not being hellions.
And who needs Jeff, right? Only all of us to operate this whole thing. So thanks for that, Jeff. But just to speak of Jeff, he's also every year putting on a charity contest, a DFS charity contest, Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. I guess if it's Canadian Thanksgiving's already passed, so it's clearly not that. But yes, so for this DFS contest for the Thursday slate, you have to sign up to enter. So go to goingfor2.com/toys. It's free to enter, but we are trying again. It's for charity, so try and accept donations. Donations towards Fantasy
Toys for
Cares.
Tots.
Yeah, which Fantasy Cares, one of their biggest things they do is Toys for Tots.
Toys
So
for
100% of the money raised will go towards buying toys for kids. You have to register. So when you go to goingfor2.com/toys, there's a form to register. It's like 4 questions, essentially, because it's on DraftKings, your DraftKings ID, your Twitter account, like ways to contact you to enter. And then the winner of that 3-game slate on Thursday will get a championship belt courtesy of fantasyjocks.com. So there are a limited number of spots if you want to join. No, it's less than a month away, just a few weeks away for American Thanksgiving. And
Do
yeah,
that. I'm going to be in
Dan
Vegas.
still hasn't got the intro music yet, but Dan, are you ready to be introed into the show officially?
I just want to say, speaking of kids, do you guys get RG3's feed on the X? He took his kids trick-or-treating, and at one house, they were charging for the candy. Who does that? Charging for the candy at trick-or-treating on Halloween.
Times are tough, Gladys.
Oh my fucking God. I would have come back and egged the house and TP back.
I would have I just wouldn't take candy. Okay, I'll go somewhere else where it's free. It's just a simple investment. As a consumer, I'll find the lowest
that's
price. I'll
wrong.
price match. If you don't
That's
take
wrong.
price matches, I'll go somewhere else.
I, as an Australian, feel like Halloween is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard of, and I will take no part of that. And I think it's stupid.
Your
So-
kids don't dress up?
Oh, I don't know if they do or if they don't. I don't care. I want no part of it. They do whatever they want with their mother. I give zero shits about Halloween.
Okay. Do you know if your kids dress up?
Halloween is the Josh McDaniels of days of the year. It's just shit.
Oh my God.
So RG2, where does Robert Griffin III live?
We're gonna dress up as something weird but eat candy. It makes no fucking sense.
Makes all the sense in the world when you're a kid. All that candy? Come on now. It's the only time in the world.
No, it's
I
very
gave-
much an American thing, and I will take no part of it.
I gave treats to dogs. Like I left treats to dog at the door to all the dogs in the building.
That's a good thing to do. I like
I know.
that. Give the dog something cool.
Yeah, exactly. Even if they weren't
Make
I'm
the
against dogs dressing up.
No, very good. That's a lot. I like that. But let's just support big corn syrup and get kids more diabetes and
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. Like I'm not into that life. And why is someone dressed up as this and they dressed up? There's no theme to it. Like it makes zero sense.
Well, for the adult females, it's so they can dress up slutty one day of the year and not get called out for it.
That's cool, but just do that.
That's cool.
That's not impressive to me. Like that you have to coordinate that once a year. Like you want to do something cool. Like here's one for you on a random June 3rd. Like just go and get your baps out. Like that. Go do that to impress me. Because that would be cool. But now you have to do it in October. You have to hide. You should be ashamed if that.
Plus, it's cold in October, so you have a point. Like if you're gonna dress slutty, you should probably do it when it's warm.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
Half naked at the beach anyway. Like, this isn't impressive.
Yeah. Kerfluffles is my new favorite word, though.
Yeah,
Jamie.
Jamie's talking about the kerfuffles on the Sunday morning stream again. Check out everything Going for Two live.
What about
I'll stop plugging things for now.
What about the other 364? What in the other 364? What days?
What do you do for dogs? I guess like do you? Or I guess yeah, we're talking about slutty costumes. I guess that should have been the
I personally
main topic.
I mean, I have a very broad sense of what a slutty costume is because I walk my dogs. I don't anyway. So yeah, I think 365 days you dress as you want. Fuck everyone else. If they think it's slutty, then they don't have to look.
Yeah, we can all agree on that. Just like we're all agreeing on the lower tonight, but we'll get to that eventually. We usually like to have Dan rant. I guess, does the Halloween rant count as a rant, or do you have a football rant this week?
Nope, it doesn't count.
I don't have a rant just yet. I'm not there yet. I forget what happened last year. I kind of blanked out there for a bit.
Blanked out on what?
I can give you a bit of an update. I don't know if you checked the lines.
Oh, it was Lionel Messi. Yeah.
15 and a half points.
Oh, yeah, the Ballon d'Or last week, yeah.
15 and a half points. That's a friggin' ridiculous line for any game. I don't care how bad the team is.
15 and a half? Who's this? Sorry?
The Giants, whoever they play next week.
It was lower than that.
DraftKings Sportsbook, it was 15 and a half.
On Vegas Insider, they had the line this morning when I checked at 11.75.
Shit! I knew I should have put money down.
I double checked it to be sure. I've never seen anything close to that low before.
Wait, what's this?
I knew I should have put money down on 15 and a half. I wonder if it's still 15.
Yeah, Tony DeVito doesn't look apparently to be a good quarterback. So
That's 2 touchdowns. I mean,
hang on. For starters, they got done 40-0 against Dallas week 1, right? And the over/under set at 39. So let's look at
Can they score negative points?
It's still 15 and a half.
I would also heavily suggest that it won't be Jimmy DeVito. It'll be Matt Barkley if it's not Tyrod Taylor. So they have Matt Barkley there, who obviously come over from Buffalo with. They've picked him up off waivers a few weeks back. Obviously, he was with Daboll at Buffalo. So Matt Barkley's there as well. He's not that
Whoa. There's a chance it's Tyrod Taylor? There's a chance it might be Tyrod Taylor? If it's Tyrod Taylor, I am definitely putting money on 15 and a half. There's no way they're going to beat them by 15 and a half points. It's Tyrod Taylor.
They beat them by 40 like 8 weeks ago.
That was not with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, it was with their $70 million man. But
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure their offensive linemen were there too. So now it's going to be even worse for the backups.
I don't see how Dallas A don't get to 45 at least, and B beat the Giants by 15 and a half easily.
So take the over for sure is what you're saying. Take the higher.
I think take the 15 and a half by Dallas.
No way I would do that.
The Giants are terrible. Las Vegas put 28 on them. Vegas, Aiden O'Connell and Vegas put 28 on him.
Aiden O'Connell didn't really do anything. Josh Jacobs put 28.
Right, but I'm just saying, it's not that hard. If Josh Jacobs, who isn't informed, could go ballistic, it's not hard for Pollard, Lamb, Ferguson, Gallup, Cooks to do something. I'm just saying. I would heavily think that. I get DeVito. It's a thing because he's the guy there. They didn't actually activate Matt Barkley for the game this week. So I'd be surprised if he isn't elevated and added. So for those in deeper leagues, Matt Barkley, if you're struggling for quarterbacks like everyone, could be a guy that you go and get if you're hero there or something. Even if you're just trying to get a filler for a week, you could do much worse. Not much worse, but you could do much worse. You could
be forced to start Clayton too. I did in the Dynasty League.
Yeah, I mean, as your Giants guy out here, I'm also hoping that Tyrod is back and ready to go. But if they're tanking, which I don't see why they wouldn't at this point, I would heavily assume that they will not let Tyrod back.
They can draft Caleb Williams. They're drafting him, right?
I think if they can get a top 3 pick, it won't matter because anything that's there, whether it's May or Penix, is going to, or Sanders even, anyone's going to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, next week you're going to be missing Mahomes, Stafford, Tua, and Jalen Hurts. So there are going to be people who are in desperate need of a quarterback.
Yeah, and again, I'm not sure that anyone would listen. You've probably got a guy on your bench, it could be anyone that's on your bench at this point that could do better than a quarterback, So it's one of those things. You just got to, I think everyone was sitting there thinking, okay, a good flex play this week might have been Devin Singletary, and that turned to shit, didn't it? So, it can happen.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. I played him.
1 for 9 and then 1 for 8 and then nothing or something.
I also played the Giants defense. Fucking losers.
Yeah, I mean the Giants are just
So pissed. Negative point.
Are they what we thought
Negative
the
1
Cardinals defense were going to be?
point. Maybe.
That's what Gator's question is.
No, the Giants. Listen,
Negative 1 point. Yes.
the Giants run defense. It's
Negative 1
weird
point.
because obviously they got rid of Leonard Williams. Ashawn Robinson's actually not bad. Like he's a decent replacement, to be fair.
Maybe not A plus, but certainly A, Sean.
Hey, do we think Bijan Robinson's hurt? Or do we think that Arthur Smith's just a dick?
In his feelings, or like,
Well, he fumbled, right? I think that's why he didn't get to see the ball. He fumbled. And
I don't care if
I know we don't care, but clearly Arthur Smith cared. It seemed like that was the reason.
I just want to put it out there and just remind everyone that Arthur Smith was a part of the same franchise that drafted Derrick Henry, early second, but also kept DeMarco Murray about and gave DeMarco Murray a career year. Like, and everyone's sitting there saying Derrick Henry, but they still kind of lent on DeMarco Murray. I think we all forget that DeMarco Murray.
And then like 2 years later,
one of the best fantasy. Yeah, one of the best.
Dion Lewis was there with the Giants.
So like you're talking about a guy who like the comparisons are real because like obviously Jonnu Smith was out at the Titans and he knows what he can do, and they had obviously Tyler Algier is pretty good in the passing game. Like he's a decent running back, and everyone felt sniped by what happened to him.
He was the highest running back that Atlanta had last year. I mean, like a franchise high. Like
and he did that like in like 8 games. He was really good in that regard.
Because Arthur Smith set him like the first. I think a coach should be fired for malpractice. I mean, I don't care about the fantasy part of it.
The guy that for the guy that we're watching for the Chargers coming up should have been done.
Brandon Staley should. If he loses tonight, he's probably not going to get to go home.
He shouldn't be back again. But it's one of those things where, like, you look at what he did at Tennessee back then with Mariota, who almost plays similarly to Desmond Ridder, right? He's got the running back committee, which was similar to DeMarco and Henry, and he's got that with Bijan and Algier. He's got the no-name wide receivers. His best receiver in Tennessee was like Rashard Matthews for 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Like, and Corey Davis, like, who did absolutely sweet fuck all. And he's got Jonnu Smith, but he'd snipe him with Michael Pruitt, who's also on his roster. Like, it's one of those
ridiculous.
Like, he's trying to rebuild his whole Tennessee team.
I think I could be more softer towards him if he wasn't such an asshole during his post-game meetings. He's such a condescending dick, and he doesn't have the right to because he hasn't won shit.
I get that too as well. Like he should like mellow out a bit.
Yeah.
But if you're going to bench Bijan Robinson, who you really went hard for, like have a fucking answer, man. Like give us something better. Like because no one's buying it. Like no one's buying the shit that he's come up with. Yeah, Gator's right. Like, you know, that you do that, 1,000 yards in 7 games and you draft another running back when you don't want to pay running backs. This is the kind of like, oh, here we go. This is the kind of contradiction that he's put himself in. You draft a running back that fucking early, but then you protect him by not playing him because you want to protect your investment. But then in 5 years' time, you're not going to pay him because he's a running back. So you're not going to play him for the first year. You don't want to pay him in the 5th year. What are you doing? It's the most mind-blowing thing. So what? You're going to have 2.5 years where he's going to look good, but then it's going to hit that 5th year. You know what? I'm not going to do anything until you pay me. We're not going to pay you. You're a running back. Well, then you're going to have to tag me. We're not going to tag you either. Like, we're just going to waste our time. He'll be sacked and long gone before this is even his problem.
Yeah, and in the division he's in, they
can hope anyway.
A legitimate chance to win that division.
There's going to be a coach that comes in, right, and goes, I'm going to run the shit out of you and then get rid of you.
Yeah.
That's it. They're going to Barkley him. That's what they're going to do. And that's cool too. But, you know, everyone's talking about, I tell you what, go get Daniel Jones to Atlanta. Take him. Jones with that team, he's better than Ridder. He's a step up. Do it. Anyone.
So Arthur Smith won't play him? So he'll play Tyler Heineke instead?
Well, you've got to see what happens after the bye week, Gladys. We got to
reassess. About, like, he's not even sure if Heineke will start this next game, so maybe they go back to Ridder. I don't know.
Listen, if you're trying to
malpractice,
4-5, 5-4, like they
legitimately could win that division if
they could have won that game and they didn't.
Yeah.
And does he blame that on Heineke for not winning? But
I went about this all off season, and it wasn't necessarily for going for 2. It was elsewhere, but like I went through strength of schedule against like win-loss totals through Vegas. the NFC South has a very kind run in.
Yeah.
So you look at if you're looking at waiver wires or trades, like Chris Olave's a guy. If you can go get Drake London or Kyle Pitts, maybe on the low, go do it. Michael Thomas, go get Rashid Shaheed. Taysom Hill if you want. If he's go get guys in that NFC South because their run in is ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
However, if you're going to do this and half lean on Heineke and then half lean on Ridder, you're kind of messing around with everything, and that's a big problem too. They have it all there in front of them because that division is there for the taking. Well, Tampa were unlucky as well. Tampa got robbed by Houston this week. They had a great game, unbelievable. You have to, after watching everyone in that division, you have to think Tampa at this point is probably the best team at this point. I don't know how we can look at the Saints and see how they're clunking along and think that they're believable. And Atlanta are just, I don't know what, they're the most schizophrenic team I've seen in a long time because you think they can do it. But Heineke only has to be half decent. Half decent. He doesn't have to go out and try and win a bunch of games. He just has to not cost them, and they're going to get there. But they're doing these stupid things like not giving their number 8 pick overall the ball, who's clearly better than Algier.
Malpractice.
And Jamie just chiming in and asking if we've ever watched what I assume is Lingerie Football League games. He highly recommends it. That's
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Out of fear that Arthur Smith ends up coaching in that league, no, I don't want to watch it. He's kind of there's going to be some 6-foot blonde, absolutely decked out, looks great at Halloween apparently, but he's going to bench her.
Yeah, no, we can't play her.
Why?
She has way too many clothes on.
Arthur Smith.
CJ Stroud's on Monday Night Countdown, if anyone cares.
I care about this right now, and that's what people should care about. Is here our talk about
multitask. Kyle, learn how to multitask. We've had this conversation.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna change my brain. Sure, yeah.
Or you can stretch it a little bit. Arthur Smith said Arthur Smith said Taylor Heineke will start this week. Who are they playing this week? I might.
Cardinals.
They're playing the Cardinals?
Yeah.
It's gonna be just a shit show.
Okay,
Kyler Murray.
Heineken will start.
Is Kyler Murray activated or no?
Wednesday.
It sounds like he's activated, and I guess they'll practice. Yeah, I guess he'll start practicing Wednesday, and you'll see. Supposedly he'll start if everything goes good.
I can't wait for Kyler Murray Day.
I did like the tilt on everyone saying can't put Josh Dobbs out there. It's a malpractice on the league. He's going to get his team hurt. It was one of the greatest comebacks of all time. No problem. No, it's a malpractice. He doesn't.
I mean, the Vikings should have just started him. Frankly, he was that good, right?
The kid looked alright for what he did. He was looking alright for that short amount of time. It was okay.
He might get the Vikings to the playoffs just because the NFC is kind of.
No, he's not gonna. They're not gonna beat Detroit, mate.
When does JJ come back?
I mean, they may be a wild card team. There's not enough strong teams.
When does Justin Jefferson come back?
Could be.
I don't buy into that, Kyle, because San Fran currently are what? Where are they?
Well, I think. Okay, yeah, I guess your two wild card teams would be the Cowboys, the 49ers, and then.
San Fran won. Seattle won this week, right?
Yeah, but they're already they lost.
No, they lost big.
So San
Baltimore
Fran
smacked
Seattle.
them.
Yeah, that's right. I figured that. So Seattle get jumped by San Fran, right? Oh no.
Well, San Fran didn't play, so I don't know if.
No, they're equal on same wins and loss. So you'd assume that San Fran's ahead.
Whatever, but I mean, yeah, that'll be one wild card team. The Cowboys, the other. Who's that third wild card team, though? I mean, Rams.
No, I think the Rams
in
are
the South.
I
mean, I get maybe it's.
It's open. I suppose. It's open, but even Washington's 4-5 or something, right?
Yeah, but they lost.
Maybe, yeah, I think you're right.
Or did they lose? Yeah, they lost to New England, I think.
Won, didn't they?
Well, here is a question from Gator.
Washington
are you playing?
They beat New England?
They did. Washington won.
Mac Jones had that last second interception. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so Gator's question: are you playing Kyler?
Yep. You don't have a choice right now. There's apparently 10 rookies this week. If DeVito plays this week, 10 rookies are playing, or 10 rookie quarterbacks will have played this year. If that's how this week is lining up, how do you bench him?
I mean, so
what are you meant to do?
Because right now I've got him at QB 20.
Dude, Hal had 300 yards.
Put him a lot higher. I've got Pickett, Watson, Wilson, Dobbs.
Would you have him ahead of Pickett?
No fucking way.
Would you?
No.
Pickett's pretty
bad. I mean, Canada's bad, but Pickett isn't helping the situation at all.
I'd have Kyler ahead of Pickett.
I'd put Kyler way ahead of Pickett. Just on his rushing ability alone, I'd put him ahead of Pickett.
Like,
so instead of QB 20, you're thinking I should probably have him at like, Baker Mayfield QB 14, Bryce Young QB 13, that range.
I think
Geno's QB 12,
Purdy
at QB 11. These are just my weekly rankings right now.
I don't want to be condescending, man, but have you seen Bryce Young play lately? Like,
He's playing the Bears defense though. That's a pretty off. Like that's might be the worst defense in the league.
I mean,
I'll give a chance to Bryce to bounce back.
I feel you on that. I get it, but
especially since you'd have to make that decision Thursday because the Panthers Bears play Thursday. So by Thursday we don't know for sure Kyler's playing.
If he's playing Thursday, I'm not playing. Like if my choice is Bryce or hang on to whoever's on my bench or pick up Kyler, I'm not playing a quarterback who's having a hard time on a normal week on a short week. I think that is,
I guess I just want to pick on the Bears defense. But yeah, I could see that like putting Kyler right there at like QB4.
I just don't hate the idea of like giving Kyler, Marquise Brown, Rondale Moore, Trey McBride. And he's got a decent rushing floor. How much they'd exploit post AC?
As he, I don't know how much he's going to run this year. Right? Like I think that's a question.
That I understand, but like, when he's a pretty good passer, right? Like we could say he's a
Falcons defense is amazing. Like it's good, but it's not like something that he can't overcome as a passer.
I don't look at what Carolina are doing and going, man, I'm really terrified of Bryce Young with like Adam Thielen and like.
And their offensive line isn't much better.
And Tommy Tremble. I just don't think Chicago are keeping like everyone's run game down as well. Like I've been over this before. Like they're keeping everyone's run game down. Like they're a decent run defense. I kind of look at like Carolina and like, how are they going to beat them? And okay, through the air. It's like I don't think Carolina are that good. I maybe like even when they beat Houston the other week, it wasn't that convincing. Really.
No.
Yeah, they just for some reason Stroud didn't. Like if Stroud had played like we normally have seen him play, the Panthers would.
I'm not saying Chicago with Tyler Bagent is either, but if Fields is back.
Well, and to that point, like if Fields come back, I'm playing Fields over Murray.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Well, yeah.
At that point, I don't know how I can look at like what's it? George Pickens had like a hissy fit right this week. How do you look at that? How do you
Pickens
look
is a child. Child.
I mean, if you're gonna like act like Antonio Brown, fucking play like it. Like do something, man. Like don't complain you don't get the ball. Fucking make something happen. You.
He needs to stop talking and play.
Do something.
Yeah.
Get me the ball. Yeah. What you fucking think, man? It's been going on for 18 months. Like.
Oh my god.
I know Geno's been bad recently, but he's playing Washington. Like I'd much rather play Geno than Kyler.
Is it at home? Is it Seattle or in Washington?
In Seattle, yeah. And frankly, I think I'd play both. I'd play Sam Howell this week over.
Oh, absolutely. I've got no problem with that. But like,
okay, so like
Pickett, like he's struggling. Like it's bad.
I think it's bad.
So okay, like I could, and that was one thing I was struggling where to put Kyler in the rankings. I was thinking like right before this conversation, I had him at QB 20, but I was originally thinking again 13, 14. I think 14 kind of makes sense. Like I'm gonna go with Bryce Young. I'm gonna risk that the matchup against the Bears is just that good that Bryce will figure it out. So I've got him ahead of Kyler, but I've got Kyler right ahead of Baker Mayfield. And then like those like statue guys like Baker, Derek Carr.
Mayfield like what, like 200, 300 yards this week, right? He's doing all right.
And the Titans defense good against the run, not so good against the pass. So I wouldn't say so. To answer Gator's question, I don't think Kyler's a must start. But yeah, you'll have to figure out where he lines into the rankings.
We confidently, as a trio, say in Superflex you'd have to, correct?
Oh yes. Yeah, for sure. Because even before this, I was saying QB 20 that you're going to start that in Superflex. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Atlanta defense. I mean, I love Josh Dobbs, but he comes in off without knowing people's name and gets 2 touchdowns on him. And didn't he have a rushing touchdown too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to that point, like, would you start Dobbs again this week against? They've played the Saints.
We're at that. Kyler. There's that many injuries and that many quarterbacks out of form, where you're going to have to.
I meant like over Kyler, right? Like compare Dobbs to Kyler.
I would go with Kyler.
The Saints is a worse matchup. The Saints defense is better. Their secondary is better. So I started
playing 2 this week. I had to in one league, and it wasn't that I wanted to. It was terrifying. Like, absolutely.
I played Tommy DeVito this week, and just in case Daniel Jones got hurt, that's how I was struggling. It wasn't a 2 QB league.
Just for what it's worth, did anyone play Will Levis this week after what he did the week before?
I played him in the zombie league.
And we all got smashed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, even Will Levis coming off a big week, 4 touchdowns, got like 5-6 points and got you smoked this week. So it's what
the zombie league got me 1.9. Didn't even hit 2.
I'm not playing Will Levis against any defense that's going to pressure him. Like,
well, the reason unfortunately, in the zombie league, I had Brock Purdy and Russell Wilson, so both QBs on bye. So I'm literally dropping his ass. So anyone who wants to pick up in the zombie league, you'll be able to this week because he's gone.
Well,
I'd definitely play Kyler over Will Levis. Like that was that.
Yeah, I would. I think.
But, so clearly, I'd rather play Kenny Pickett over Will Levis.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I think it depends on defense.
You just said Tua, Kansas, Tua, Miami. Who else is on the bye?
Eagles and Rams.
You got Jalen Hurts is out. You got Tua out. You got Patrick Mahomes out. And you got maybe Matthew Stafford.
Arguably, you could say 3 of the top 3 quarterbacks in fantasy
are gone.
This week.
Are not.
If Stafford is actually on, he's a top 8 option. So, like, you're talking about guys that are weekly winners for you that we can't even look at again. And on top of that, we got a cesspool of filth in there too.
And if you're playing DFS, you don't have Russell Wilson, you don't have Josh Allen, you don't have Gardner Minshew.
Bryce Young to pick on the Bears defense.
So, I mean...
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Slim
Pickens.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. These games overseas are just driving me crazy.
Do you know what it is? This is a time of year when all the casual gamblers piss off. All the casual gamblers just go, I want none of this.
I'm okay with that then, because maybe I'll have
the real winner here is Gladys, because she apparently got pictures from Jamie of.
I did, and they're really cute. His kids are so adorable. Like his kids.
Gladys is the real winner. So the game tonight, Monday Night Football, doesn't matter.
I was kind of like the real winner anyway, so I think you may have forgotten that, Kyle, but that's okay.
Yeah, but there is also a game tonight. Again, Chargers at Jets. Chargers.
No fucking way. There's a game tonight?
What are we doing?
Why are we here if there's a game tonight? Why are we not watching the game?
Wait, before we get into this, who have we got next week? Because this is my favorite part of the week, is finding out how
I'm going to have Doc on next week, because I believe it's the Raiders against the Jets again. Against the Raiders against the Jets.
No, that's Sunday Night Football.
Damn it!
Next week is the team where Gladys is from, actually. But they're not in Denver. The Broncos are traveling to Buffalo.
Oh, we got a decent game. All right. Here we go.
There you go. So that's it. But this week we have Chargers Jets. So there you go.
That should be fun. Buffalo, they're fun. Denver, fun.
So yeah, Chargers are fun. Maybe not the coach.
They're not.
But
they're
the
not
offense will be fun. Chargers favored by 3.5. Again, road favorites. We've seen a lot this year on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but it's only 3.5. Is anyone surprised that it's only 3.5? Like, that had to be. I want to know what the line was when they thought Aaron Rodgers was playing. Were the Jets favored?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually not surprised that it's only 3.5.
Oh, Brandon Staley, you suck so bad.
And the higher lower set at 40.5.
Which went up, because I know it was 39.5 at the beginning of the week.
Of course, we have Underdog Fantasy, which you can use the promo code GF2 or scan the QR code. If as your initial deposit, when you do so, they'll double whatever you deposit, up to $100. So put in $100, you'll get $200 in your account. And if you do it right now, you could potentially pick the Chargers or the Jets. You could pick the higher lower on the 40.5, or some of the player selections we'll be talking about.
Struggling on them promos tonight, Kyle.
Okay. Do you want to try?
Josh Palmer's out, right? Josh Palmer's
been put on IR. Yeah.
He's on IR.
You've seen the lack of promo reads. You know what I'm about, mate. You're very well aware that I'm not very good with the promos.
Wow. Ow. I need to drop him in a league now.
Yeah, I know. And the All Money and Dynasty League, I might drop him in that too, just because I've got all my IR spots already filled up.
I know.
One's Mike Williams, so it's the Chargers IR spot apparently.
To be fair, it's almost becoming a yearly tradition of the 1 month Josh Palmer run right.
Because Mike Williams keeps getting hurt. So Jamie's putting up a comment. Is it $500 deposit? It was until yesterday. Today they cut it back. So again, Pay attention to these promos Underdog puts on. But yeah, try it tonight. Maybe you'll win with some of this game. Something on this game, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start with the 40.5 because I think this is the 6th time this year all three of us have made the same selection, and it's lower on the 40.5. So
what did I do last week?
Your results from last week, you went 1 for 2. So you both picking the Lions, you got that right, but then you both went higher. The lower hit, and your props didn't hit. Mine hit.
What was my prop?
So I went 2 for 3. You guys both went 1 for 3.
What was my prop last week? Do you have it?
Adams 75.5 receiving yards
that's
higher.
Right.
He had 11
I hate Josh
receiving
McDaniels.
yards.
He had like 1 catch.
Yeah.
Fucking Josh McDaniels. Dick.
And Dan, you had Michael Mayer, 21.5 receiving yards higher. He just came under.
Yeah, I mean, it was Halloween. I wouldn't have picked him otherwise. I was getting festive with whatever
For
your
the holiday that you hate so much and don't acknowledge.
I tried to get. That was me trying.
Oh, is that you trying? Okay.
Well, I got Goff right with the pass attempts, and I got the lower. So I should have gone with the Lions. I would have been perfect. Damn. Oh well.
2 Alexander Malone sacks in the last 3 minutes cost me a game. I'm still filthy about it.
And for the first time since week 2, I'm at 500. So 14, 14, and 2. Yeah. Hooray. I'm finally at 500. I'm actually second because Dan is 13, 15, and 2. So I'm 1 ahead of him. Gladys, you're still leading the way at 17, 11, and 2.
Yeah, I hate Josh McDaniels.
So all of us taking the
move
lower.
on.
This was actually tough for me. And I looked, I don't know what you guys were thinking with the lower, but the Chargers, I went and their games have gone higher than 46 out of 7 times. The Jets have gone lower than that 6 out of 7 times. So it's like, oh, well, what that bounced out. That didn't tell me anything. So then I just kind of looked at again, our results this year from Monday Night Football. And we've only had 1 game hit the over, and it was 38.5. This is not 38.5. It's higher, so that means I'll go lower.
The Jets have hit the under.
But I actually considered it this
all
week.
their home games, I think, except for 1. The Jets have hit the under in all their home games except for 1. They're holding,
and all their road games too, I think. So
they're holding quarterbacks like.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where the Chargers' strength lies, is through the passing game, not on the rushing game. So.
Yep. So I'm counting on Sauce Gardner and DJ Reader to be Sauce Gardner and DJ Reader today, because no Palmer, Quentin Johnson, who I have to play. I'm not real confident it's going to be able to. It's going to be a lot of Keenan Allen in the middle. If you have Keenan Allen, whatever his props are, I would go over on every single one of them, because he's going to be prepping Keenan Allen and his tight ends in the middle all day long.
So Dan, any reasoning for your decision to go lower than 40.5?
Chargers for the year are 2-5 going, so they've managed to hit the unders 5 times this year. Jets 3-4. Jets are 1-3 at home going under. Chargers are 1-3 going under on the road. Jets as a home dog are 1-3 going under. Chargers as a road favorite have gone under once this year out of 1 game. So this game tends to lean towards going under. So Chargers 2-5 on the road, 2-5 this year going under. That's crazy to think about the Chargers this year going 2-5 under. You wouldn't. I mean, that could be because they're in high scoring games where that kind of.
They're always set some of the highest ones.
And then you look at, like, they've had games where Eckler's been injured, Williams has been injured, Allen's been injured, Quentin Johnson hasn't fired, so they've lost pieces as well. So you can say, okay, but this is no different this week. There's no Josh Palmer, no Mike Williams. Eckler's working his way back into form. They're coming up against a team with one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. So they're not really great on the road, and they don't really go over on the road, and the Jets kind of don't let people do it either. And that's a credit to the Jets this year. Their defense is friggin' nuts. So
their defense is really good.
Yeah, it's good.
And
so,
Brandon Staley's defense sucks, and Brandon Staley sucks. So,
yeah,
but the Jets' offense isn't that great. So I mean, you have strength against weakness and strength against weakness,
there's no punting props. If there were punting props,
all day on that.
Yeah.
What's up, Yeti?
Yeah, it's
he's here joining us too.
And 40.5, even though you think the Chargers should be able to get there with that alone, it's been a struggle for them this year.
Wait, who did you pick?
I took lower, and I took the Jets at -3.5.
Okay. Plus 3.5?
No.
Yeah. All right. I thought you said you took the Chargers there for a second.
Yeah, I'm the one that's going to take the Chargers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I took the Jets at plus 3.5 too.
So yeah, and your reasonings make sense. Like the Chargers offense might be held down by this Jets team. Now, have the Jets faced a passing offense that's good? Although I guess with losing
played
the receiving
KC.
options,
Miami.
They played KC too.
yeah, okay,
didn't
never mind. They have. Okay, all right, yeah. So maybe I'm wrong with the Chargers. Oops.
Well, I mean, I think that if the Jets can keep it close, Brandon Staley's going to find some way to lose that game in the last like 2 plays. So that's why I took the Jets, and that's why I took the 3.5 because.
You think they can win clean?
Huh?
You think the Jets can win clean?
Yeah, I do.
Wow, I like that.
I think the Jets are going to. I would put money line on it.
Good for
And
you.
I would do it. I would do Yeti's bet too. The Eckler. See, that's still Eckler over 34.5 receiving yards. I think. Yeah.
So
Is he healthy? Right? He's healthy. He's not. There's no injury designation coming in, right?
He's as healthy as he's been this year.
Yeah. I'm telling you, Eckler and Keenan Allen.
I'll talk about Eckler in a minute, but 3.5. I'll tell you what I took with the spread. I took the Jets minus 3.5, plus 3.5. Chargers for the year, 3 and 4 against the spread, so they're not doing well. Jets for the year, 4-2-1 with the spread. Jets at home, 3-1. Chargers on the road, 1-2. Jets as a home dog, 3-1. Chargers as road favorite, 0-1. So the Chargers as a home favorite, Chargers as a road favorite, and with this, they're not doing it. They're not getting it done, which is why, to me, like, this is a team that we all look at. You know, everyone went on Herbert for best ball, right? You know, you start up dynasty drafts, everyone's getting on Herbert. They're absolutely letting everyone down in the betting market. They're absolutely getting it, unless you get betting against them, which we are tonight. But I look at the Jets as well, like they're getting positive results as a home underdog, and games going lower. I feel like the injuries to the Chargers as well. I feel like this is one of those weird games where it's just not going to get there, and it's been nudged up from 39.5 to 40.5. I don't see.
Yeti's score is going 37, so it looks like Yeti's taking the under.
Yeah.
The game's going to be ugly.
Yeah, and look, we've seen like a guy like Greg Zuline. You know what he's like from 50 out. He's decent, right? So this could be a game where the Jets get to the 35-yard line. They don't convert. Bang, another 3 points. They stop them, get the punt return. Another 35. Bang, off we go. Like, this could be like a really frustrating game on a Monday night, which is uncommon for us, right?
Yeah, something that has been common, again, the road favorites this year. So I went back and looked at the Monday night road favorites, and they're 2-3-1 against the spread. So we had the Saints push as 3-point road favorites, but other than that, it's been 2 of them have not covered, and 3 of them 2 of them have covered, 3 of them have not. So does that mean the tendency is towards these home underdogs, or is it going to swing back and balance so that it's 3-3? So I guess I'm taking the side that it swings back and balance, and that's why I'm going to.
You're looking at the quality of game that we've had this year as well. We've had some absolute stinkers, and you're looking at some of the quarterbacks that we've had to fill in, or the injuries that have been struck in, and those markets just kaplunk. So I think it's a bit of everything, and then you put it out on an island and it looks worse. But again, when you line up everything that's going, like the Jets at home, they are covering. And they are bringing teams into a dogfight. They are going lower, and the Chargers are showing us that they're not really capable of covering this year. It's just not happening. So, why are we believing in the Chargers to do something that we can see isn't happening for them? Okay, Justin Herbert had like a finger injury as well, right?
I thought so.
It's on his non-throwing hand, though.
Yeah, still, like, it's another thing to add on to like the list of worries, right? Like, it's there. It's just. I hate the idea that the Chargers are giving us a reason to not like them, because they should be a team that everyone kind of backs and goes, wow, it's a good quarterback with good receivers. Everyone loves Austin Eckler. Their defensive plays, you look at Mack, you look at Bose, you look at Derwin James, like, they're dudes, right? Like, everyone likes watching them, and like they suck this year. It's hard to watch.
Is Derwin James playing, or is he injured?
Derwin James?
Yeah.
I hope he is injured, because I am up against him tonight in another IDP game where
It's funny because I've got Quincy Williams in a couple spots that I'm kind of hoping he might steal me a win.
I'm up by about 60. I'm up by about 60. I've got no one playing tonight. I'm up against Herbert, Derwin James, and Whitehead. So I don't feel good. don't feel good.
Ah,
I really need the Chargers.
I wonder, to Gator's comment, like Jets wish they signed Mike White. If Mike White was on this team, I think I would take them as 3.5 point underdogs. But it's Zach Wilson, so I'm going the Chargers. I'm being defiant though, because you've made a lot of good points why I should go the Jets.
I also we saw enough from and it means nothing in the grand scheme of things. But what Zach Wilson did to the Giants in the last 30 seconds, he showed that he can push the downfield urgently. If he has to, the Giants are a completely different kettle of fish to the Chargers, or they should be. But he showed that he can get it there if he has to. So it's something to keep your eye on. He got it to Garrett Wilson, he got it to Alan Lazard, he got it to Tyler. He did okay. And the Chargers haven't really been known for the best run defense. Breece Hall's kind of back, so it's an interesting dichotomy for the Chargers to come up against a team who really should be punishing. But we're looking at a Chargers team that don't really look like they're anywhere near a decent amount of form. It's a wild game for me, this one. I'm still not going to watch it, but still, it's a wild game. It's setting up that way.
So apparently, Jamie says DraftKings. You're talking about punting props. Apparently, you can take the first drive punt
over. Over.
Yeah.
Over.
There you go. So there, go to DraftKings for that one. So I guess we'll talk about our player props though. And Gladys, you referenced this earlier. Yeti talked about Eckler over 34.5 receiving. He likes that, and Dan, that does tie nicely to your prop. That does involve Austin Eckler.
What's your prop, Dan?
We'll get to that. So we're looking at Herbert lower completions. Jets are allowing the fourth fewest completions, 21 per game, playing one fewer game of the least amount of receptions to receivers with 9 per game, tied 6 most receptions to the running back, the Jets this year. So with an average of 6.5 receptions per game, no Williams, no Palmer. Eckler has hit this quota last week for 3.5. I believe I had him at 3.5 or 4.5. 4.5, Kyle. What did I put him down as?
I thought it was. Hang on.
4.5.
4.5. Yeah.
I have Eckler at 4.5 receptions. He crossed 7 last week for the first time since week 1, where he had 5. Obviously, those 2 games in between, he was working his way in from injury. The Jets allow those receptions to running backs, and they're running short of options. So I don't hate this for Austin Eckler if you have him in a game this week. They're allowing yards, they're allowing receptions to running back, and that is Austin Eckler's world. 34.5 receiving yards. Look, last week I went against him on the ground because they played the Chargers, the Bears, and I said before, he's not going to get the 50 rushing yards. The matchups with Eckler are very obvious for him. If the matchup is saying they're a tough run defense, he's not going to get there, but he might get there through the air. This is a bit of an easier matchup for him through the air, and I like that for him.
And I think, to Yeti's point, if you believe in the secondary is good, you're going to see a lot of dump offs.
Again,
Eckler, and then to a certain extent, Allen as well, which is what Gator J is saying.
I had to start with the Jets secondary.
9 receptions per week on average to wide receivers. That's nothing.
The Jets secondary has more interceptions on deep balls than they have allowed receptions on deep balls. I think it's 4 interceptions on deep balls and 2 receptions on deep balls. Their secondary is legit. I mean, on deep.
Mahomes was talking about the Chiefs having one of the best defense in the NFL. You can make the case that the Jets have, because they're 4-4 with Zach Wilson. This team is firing because of their defense, and not because they can score 30 points a game. They can't.
Well, I mean, the thing is, everyone was like, when Zach Wilson comes in, just don't let him lose the game. And now that he's not letting them lose the game, they're upping the ante on him. So he's doing just what he needs to do. He's not letting them lose the game.
He's doing he's doing the Jacoby Brissett from last year. Just don't cost him.
Don't cost the game. Don't cost him the game.
Listen, if you can get there for a touchdown, get there. If not, take the 3. The other guys will do the rest. And listen, if he can get them, it would be wild to see Aaron Rodgers do what Cam Akers did a couple of years ago. That would be wild, but it happened, right?
Yeah, he came back for the playoff run. Yeah,
if anyone
was there for the Super Bowl, yeah.
What if by week 16 the Jets are 8-8 and they're still in the playoff hunt? That's possible.
Cam Akers is going to need another miraculous recovery, though.
Well, he is what the professionals say, a little fucked right now.
Yeah.
Cam Akers got hurt.
He ruptured his other Achilles.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Gornsky. He went full Lamar. What's his Lamar Miller. Full Lamar Miller. Which is a shame.
Yeah,
I'd say like Austin Eckler hit 4.5 receptions pretty easily today. I don't
Yeah,
see.
I think that's.
They have to have a lot of faith in
That's
Quentin
me.
Johnson up against the Jets for him to not get there. I don't know
To
how.
talk about this Jets defense, Gators talking about Cody Whitehead. I'm going with a defensive back prop for the Jets.
Thanks, Gator. I'm up against Whitehead today. Thank you very much.
I think that's what he's saying. It's not Herbert the problem. It's the Whitehead. That's what's going to put it over the edge and lose you.
I'm aware. I know how fucked I am. I get it.
Tony Adams, Jets safety, higher than 3.5 combined and assisted tackles, or solo and assisted tackles combined. The 3.5 was pretty low. He's hit the over in all 5 games he's played this year.
He's had a good year this year.
Sorry?
He's doing well.
What have I said? What was it? Quentin Williams hasn't had a sack this year.
Quinnen Williams or Quincy Williams? Quinnen Williams.
Hasn't had a sack this year.
Wow.
And you,
Maybe it's against the Chargers offensive line. Okay. I guess. Well, here Gladys we'll quickly talk about your prop, and then we'll bring up that trade that JV's mentioning. So.
I have what is my prop? Zach Wilson
You went with pass
higher.
attempts like I did last week.
higher than 31.5 pass attempts. Last 3 games that they played, he was on a bye, of course, week 7. He had 26, 33, and 36 passing attempts because they're playing a team that will give them lots of offensive time. The Chargers play fast, and I think that the defense will have them off the field. I think he will get higher, and I think he will get higher. Not Garrett Wilson, but I'm liking Tyler Conklin a lot today.
Not even CJ Uzoma, but I guess it could be both.
No, CJ is usually mostly used for blocking. It's Conklin that's.
There's a couple weeks he had more catches than Conklin, though.
It's Conklin that is consistently getting the targets.
Carl's pettiness for NFC. Anyone else that's NFC North that isn't a Packer is just. It's all
Oh yeah, because Conklin used to play for the Vikings, right? It's funny because he reminds me of Ty Conklin, the goalie, who did at one point play for the Red Wings, and that makes me happy. So just to recap real quick, Jets are 3.5-point home underdogs. Gladys and Dan are both taking the Jets with the 3.5 points. I'm going with the Chargers as 3.5-point road favorites. All of us going lower than 40.5. Dan is all of us going higher on our props. Dan is taking higher than 4.5 receptions for Austin Eckler. Gladys going higher than 31.5 pass attempts for Zach Wilson. And I'm going with 3.5 total tackles for Tony Adams. And then we've got a question here from Jamie. So, someone just bought Josh Dobbs for a late 24-second in Dynasty League. I would imagine this has to be Superflex. I don't think anyone would do that.
That's interesting. I just got rid of him for a third last week. After we went to Minnesota, I got rid of him for a third. I just went, what are they going to do? Like, they're not going to run with him next year. It's nice to think that his issue is Geno. I don't feel like that's sustainable the way that if the if the Vikings keep winning and they make that playoff push and end up with like the 20th pick, how much of a choice they might have to go into that free agent market. Maybe they keep Kirk Cousins again. I don't know, but I don't want to say that Josh Dobbs is going to be a solution in a year's time for them. So I just figured for me, and again, I'm not the dynasty guy out of everyone in here. I just thought I just want to get out now before he's stuck on my roster and gets usurped by a rookie or a vet. I'm not going to wait around for that. I got rid of him for whatever I wanted. The only offer I got was a third. It's a 10-team league, so I didn't really care that much.
Scarcity in a 10-team is a little less too.
I was like, well, it's what, top 30 pick at worst. I really don't care. I'm just going to get rid of him now. Again, I also started Clayton Tune, which was a problem. And Des Ridder got benched, and I had every.
You should have tried to trade Clayton Tune. Clearly,
I had everyone not available. Oh no, sorry. Deshaun Watson played. I had him back, but I had Tannehill, Ridder, Dobbs. I didn't think was playing. Murray wasn't playing. I had every quarterback here. I had whatever. So I'll just play Tune, see what happens.
Well, it's funny because I just recently gave up a second for Russell Wilson. I had to give Aiden O'Connell as well on top of that second, but because I was running Fields and Tannehill both hurt, so I didn't have a quarterback. So and then I also had Josh Dobbs, picked him up, and I was able to run him most of the season. He was on bye. Wilson was on bye, and Dobbs didn't get the start. So luckily, I had Tyson Bagent to go along with Taylor Heineke. But in a league like that, I'm looking forward to just starting Dobbs every week. Him and Wilson, like that's my QB2. I mean, unless Fields is back, then I can actually make a decision.
We can't argue about like what is in Minnesota, right? Like if they get Jefferson back, Osborne, Addison, Hawkinson, and he made Alexander Madison relevant again for a bit there too. Like he's got arguably a better team around him than what he did in Arizona. And at one point, he was like the quarterback 6 at some point, right? So it's not hard to fathom that he's going to have a good fantasy season. Here's one for you. You go back a year, and a kid named Brock Purdy takes over for San Fran, and no one touches him off waivers, and everyone's like, okay, whatever, and like he's punching 30-point games. So it's not unfathomable to think a guy who can come off the street can come up and put up 15 to 20 points a game in fantasy football. It's absolutely possible. The problem is like if you believe it can or couldn't, and if we're talking about the longevity in it, I don't see the longevity in him in Minnesota now. They could keep him around as a goodwill thing. Hey, we're going to keep the vet around, and hey, he did well, and he's going to compete like next year. But I just cashed my chips out. I want no part of that going forward. There's no need. If you're a contender, hold on to it by all means. Like you might do something the way that you're dropping. Like I'm not a contender, so for me, it just makes no sense.
So it does seem like the second is probably the ceiling of his price. Like he won't be transacted for that in every league, but there are some leagues where it might be if someone's desperate enough, as Jamie just pointed out.
It's a deep league and it's a second. I think that's fair. If it's a shallow league like the one I'm in, like okay, it's deep benches and all that, but it's only 10 teams. Like third, I mean, I took it. I just didn't care. I was like, whatever, I'll take it. But if it's a deep league and it's a second, and you're talking maybe it's a mid to late, I'd take it. Sure. But the way quarterbacks are dropping right now, you might not want to. Daniel Jones is out for the year, right? Like, he's done. So there's another one that was, a mid QB2 that you just don't have, and you're thinking maybe it's Barkley, maybe it's Tyrod Taylor, whoever the Giants.
Oh, shit. I have Jones and, not that it matters, Scott Fishbowl.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't think I've won 3 games in Scott Fishbowl.
My mid-round quarterbacks in best ball got cooked.
Yeah, I had Cousins and Scott Fishbowl, but luckily I took CJ Stroud late, so suddenly I had no choice but to play him with Cousins out. If Cousins had played, I most definitely probably would have played Kirk Cousins. It's almost fortunate for that one that I had no choice but to. I think I picked up Clayton Tune. I was definitely not going to start Clayton Tune over CJ Stroud. So CJ Stroud, ride me to Scott Fishbowl. Let's go. I know the one thing that we've done really well this year. I guess I wore the shirt because this week it seemed like it was week to really do it. I mean, I guess you mentioned Greg the Leg, but no kicker props. Like we don't need that. You know, they're on there on Underdog, but I was especially for the Chargers. Like that's definitely a team to just avoid the kicker. Good as Dick has been.
On Graham and Gano, we had the Giants game. I thought, you know what, it's 5.5.
Hey, if he kicks 0 kicks and he had 0 points, it's not. Yeah.
I like was it Graham Gano? He had like a hand injury or something, right? They put him on.
Yeah, I think he's out.
But like Daniel Jones had a neck injury, they put him back in. The absurdity of it, it's just mind blowing to me.
Didn't the Texans throw in some guy that's not a kicker to kick an extra point or something?
Dare Ogunbowale, a running back.
Yeah, and he made it.
He made a field goal.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a point after.
Not even hard.
Well, to be fair, Justin Reed, I think, is the Chiefs' backup kicker. It's not the end of the world.
These guys are football players. You got to learn to do every aspect of a football game. Someone's going to do it right.
Yeah,
Dare Ogunbowale. So if you played him as a dart throw running back as a third stringer you
might have missed a few though. You might be in trouble.
I think he didn't though. I think his only attempt he made it. I believe.
Yeah, so 1-1.
You might have got extra points for that kick because I don't think he caught any passes as much as it was a crazy passing game for CJ Stroud.
Ugh, going bald.
All right, so it's 8:05. We've been on for basically an hour, almost exactly. So anything else that either you want to talk about?
No. Dan, are you doing your show this week or no?
Probably.
Okay. Just checking.
I don't know. That's where I'm at. I legitimately don't know where I am.
Hello. You're on the 2-point conversion right now.
Well, let me know ahead of time because that's my serious nap time. Did I stay up for your show?
Oh, it's in nap time.
Yeah, it's my
You
nap
just
time.
watch it later, too.
I'm fine.
Why would I do that?
If I'm there,
Oh, because it's a going for two show. It's great. Dan gives great advice. It's funny. And, I like to watch it after the fact.
great advice. It's a stretch, but I actually had a good week the week before last. So felt like the last time. When you start like to get on a bit of a hot streak as well. You're like,
No,
wait.
I will not know that feeling yet this year. I've not been on a hot streak at all.
I feel like I went 5 for 5, maybe. I had a good
Just-
week the week before, and I was like, the last thing you want to do when you're firing and your process is good is like take a week off. It's like, ugh.
Cooler. There you are. Oh, and I'm off State Flowers. Dick, man. What is wrong with? I don't
State
understand how
Flowers
they
got
put.
hurt?
I don't understand. No, he didn't have any production. I don't
Oh,
understand
yeah.
how they put up.
The same thing for me in Scott Fishbowl, yeah.
Yeah, how they put up what 38 points and
I absolutely missed what you said.
Because they
Lamar
ran in
only-
like,
I
I think there were like 3
thought-
rushing touchdowns or
Gus
something.
Edwards.
I thought you said Mother's Day flowers. You said I'm on Zay Flowers. I thought you said Mother's Day flowers. I was trying to figure out what you were talking about.
Are you drunk?
No,
Okay.
I wish. Clean at night. Doesn't feel right. Nothing.
All right, I'm gonna go feed my dogs. No, I've already fed them. They're drugged. I'm gonna go take them outside. That is why they're so, dude. CBD for dogs, best thing ever invented. I'm not lying.
And humans too.
Yes, true. That's true too. But that everybody knows that. I'm just saying.
Well, some
For
people
dogs.
don't. Some people are really stupid. Some people are picking the Chargers tonight. Like,
Well,
those things aren't related necessarily.
maybe you need some more CBD then, because yeah,
I would, if I smoked enough, I'd pick the green team. Yeah.
exactly.
I have to smoke a lot to pick Zach Wilson.
Not that much, just a little.
Okay,
I
well,
got-
I guess I needed more than I did. Anyway, no more of this. Is it safe to give CBD to children? I would say
Yes.
no, JB. Oh.
No, it is. Yeah. Can you?
There are forms.
I
yeah.
can ship it.
Yeah.
Gator, you need some? Go on my DMs. Give me your address, and I'll ship you some CBD for your dogs. It's right across the street. The guy that sells it.
All right, then we're making all these arrangements here. Again, you want to be able to just get this insider access. Join us live on the Going for Two Live YouTube page, Twitch, Facebook as well. Comment every Monday. Again, we got Bills Broncos next Monday. So that would be great. You could follow us along in the place Dan hates at the B League says at Gladys L Tyler for Gladys, and I'm at Senra says. That's what I said.
THC dogs.
THC to the dogs. I don't know about that. You may want to save that for the humans, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh my God, Jamie, you're ridiculous.
The Hellion Cleveland Browns? Is that what that stands for? I don't know. I'm making stuff up.
Yeah.
We're getting late. It's 8:08. Perfect time to just face down low to the episode. See you
Bye,
guys next week.
We will see you later. Dan, get moved. Damn it.
This is the 2-point conversion. You have